practice, take your time, just continue to prepare for your practice, just showing up, settling in, and eventually just arriving on your yoga mat. Just standing nice and tall. Even just a nice check-in with self as we've just woken up, perhaps. Some breathing, some movement throughout the body. Those light stretches and releases. Maybe just working from head to toe. The movement of the head and neck. You might even roll your shoulders. As you roll your shoulders back, you might even just open your chest, a little back bend. You can roll your shoulders forward, a little broadening of the upper back. And just work down the body, down through your ribs, sides of your body, your hips. A little circle there perhaps. Your check-in with your legs, a little bend of the knees. Movement of your ankles and toes. And don't forget to move down through your arms, checking in with your elbows and wrists and fingers. Then you might just find stillness. And while in stillness, just pay attention to your breathing. Just slow, steady breaths at first. As you continue to connect, arrive, be here. As you breathe in, you might feel your breath rising upward to fill your lungs. So that might be a deep breath in. And a slow and controlled exhale. Just draw navel inward towards your spine. Just a light engagement here, an awareness of your center. Again, just keeping this connection or establishing a connection. Again, as you inhale, you might experience the spinal extension, getting a little taller and lighter up top. Breath rising to fill your lungs and open your heart space. Your exhale. Drawing belly in, a light contraction of your abdominal muscles, the abdominal lock. And just continue to breathe in and out. For our practice today, we are going to focus on shoulders. Call this class Shoulder Flow. Just to provide some mobility and flexibility in our shoulders, and a little strength work there too. So let's take 3 more breaths now in preparation to move. And a reminder that this is your practice. Move as you need to move. Listen to your body and respond appropriately. And when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Nice reach, a good stretch perhaps. That first movement of the shoulders. Exhale, let's fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and just take your time. You might fold enough to actually touch your toes, or maybe just be a partial fold. Then inhale, slide your hands up the legs to help extend your spine. Feel like you're coming forward. And exhale, we'll go back down into a forward fold, and we'll hold here for several breaths. With this heaviness of the upper body, gravity drawing you downward, you might loosen up your shoulders a bit. Yeah, go heavy. Here you might circle the shoulders, maybe a couple times backward, and then forward. Then just kind of this stirring action with the arms, like you're stirring a big pot of soup. And check in with your head and neck once again, maybe nodding yes a few times, shaking your head no. Any other movement that might feel good for you at this moment in this forward fold. Maybe another breath or two as well. In preparing to stand, go ahead and shift your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees. Feel like you're going to sit down into a chair. Look forward. Take your arms out to the side. Then inhale and stand up tall, reaching into the air. A nice stretch. And exhale, you can bring your hands down to your heart center. Just hold for a moment, taking a breath. And just repeat that half salute to the sun whenever you're ready. Let's inhale, extend the arms out and up, reaching into the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Again, a good hinge from hips. Again, it might be a partial fold where your hands land at your shins rather than going all the way down. And inhale, slide your hands up the legs to help you extend your spine. Feel the top of your head lead you forward. Exhale to fold. As you're able, a complete release here at the end. Your weight shift now into your heels. Bend your knees, look forward to help extend spine. Then extend your arms out to the side. And inhale and rise up. Reach into the air. And exhale, hands together and down to your heart. And just hold here in stillness. Reconnect to breath. And we'll continue with our sun salutation. Whenever you're ready to move, inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Good energy through your hands and fingers. A good stretch there. Exhale, let's fold forward, making our way down. Partial fold or going all the way down as it feels right. Inhale, rise up halfway, fully extended spine. We'll call it monkey pose. Exhale, fold and bend, getting low enough so you can place your hands on your mat in front of your feet and step the feet back. So we're in plank pose, that long straight line in the body. Pausing for just a moment to establish strength and length in your body. This is also good shoulder strength work just by holding the pose. Let's breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees a little. Send your hips up into the air, right into downward facing dog. It's our shortcut. So just establish a connection here, making any movements or adjustments with your feet and hands. That's it. You can just hold in stillness if you'd like, or the pedaling of the feet, stretching the calves, your toes. Feel the bend in the knees, movement in the hips. And then meanwhile, up top, hands are pressing strongly, firmly into your mat. Energy and strength in your arms right up into the shoulders, chest, and upper back. Let's get ready to move. So a nice full breath in, filling up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly in, ready to move. Bend your knees, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of your mat to a forward fold. Inhale, spinal extension, monkey pose. Exhale, fold. Weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. And let's come all the way up. Reach high. This exhale, we'll take chair pose. Let's just move right into series B of our sun salute. So chair pose. Once in your seat, just breathe in. Nice extension through your arms. Good. Exhale, diving forward into forward fold. Inhale, lengthening through your spine as best as you can. Exhale, fold and bend. Let's bring hands to the floor again. Walk, step, or hop both feet back into plank pose. Pause, just for the strength and length in the body once again. And if you like, you can bend the knees and send hips into the air, downward facing dog, or bend elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs, coming down to Chaturanga Dandasana, finishing the push-up. Perhaps a back bend here. It could be a low cobra or an upward facing dog as you inhale. Then exhale, downward facing dog, tucking toes, lifting knees and sending the hips floating up into the air. Stepping into place, make any adjustments with hands and feet. And we'll continue with our lunges. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you, good energy. Exhale, let's step right foot up to the top of the mat, a light landing. Turn left heel to the floor behind you. Establish that connection. Long spine. Inhale, rising up, reaching into the air. Warrior one. And exhale, hinging, folding here, placing hands on the mat out in front of you, and to slide the right foot back into plank pose. Choose the series that you like to finish your sequence. Again, you can move right into down dog or go through the full vinyasa if you'd like, or a variation of that vinyasa, so we can arrive in downward facing dog. And once in down dog, and inhale to extend left leg up into the air, reaching for the wall behind you. There you go. Exhale, let's bring left foot to the top of the mat in your left hand, a nice light landing. Right heel will turn to the ground. Establish that strong connection to the ground. Hands are light so you can easily hinge from hips. Inhale, rising, reaching into the air. Good energy. Heart opening. Exhale, hinge and fold. Yes, hands back down to the mat in front. Slide the left foot back to meet the other. Finishing your sequence as you'd like. Meeting in downward facing dog. Maybe just a breath or two in down dog. And then gently kneel down. Briefly sit back into hero pose. Then sit off to the side. We are going to take a seat. Swing the legs around to the front. Sitting in the center of your mat. I'm going to roll down onto the back. Feel free to hug your knees in. And adding some movement here. A little massage for your back body. Use some movement in the feet. Just getting ready for bridge pose, but just taking this moment for a little extra check-in. Noticing what your body might need. And then eventually just setting the feet down. Knees bent, of course. Breathing in fully to fill up your lungs. Exhale to engage your core center, navel to spine, and then lift hips up into the air. And there's your bridge pose. Nice heart opening or back bend. Using hands to help lift yourself up, even hold yourself up like that. You might even get your arms and shoulders a bit underneath you. It's another way to help support the body, because with the arms and shoulders underneath you, it might allow you to squeeze your shoulder blades together or engage your upper back muscles for more support and lift and opening. Let's take 3 more breaths. And to come out of the pose, start by wiggling the feet forward a little bit. Extend your arms straight up into the air. And then roll your way down. Soft landing. And then draw knees into chest once again. We'll start to rock forward and back. Re-engage with breath. A good exhale to help you rock your way up to seated. Let's come to boat pose. That's it. So a little core conditioning here. You might even hold on to the bent knees if your knees happen to be bent, helping you to extend your spine, sitting up, lifting yourself up. Deep breathing, there you go, filling up the lungs, exhaling to engage your core center. There's that muscle engagement to help you kind of hold steady. Okay, let's get ready to move. So a breath in right here. Exhale, we'll cross legs, perhaps hands in front or even to the side, so you can walk or step or just swing the feet back, hop back, plank pose. Here we'll just take a shortcut to downward facing dog, and we'll continue with the flow. At your own pace, when you're ready to move, inhale, extend right leg up behind you, right leg, and then right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel will turn to the ground behind you, solid grounding, extended spine. Inhale, rising up, reaching into the air, warrior 1. And our exhale here to warrior 2. Settling in. Nice deep lunge. Nice tall torso. Extended arms. That certainly affects our shoulders. Let's take side angle. So reaching out to angle the upper half of the body. Right hand reaching downward. Left hand reaching upward initially. We're going to change this in a moment. But first just reaching up and then maybe reaching overhead towards the front of the room. Like you're waving, start reaching now to the back of the room. Okay? Just some movement of the shoulder. Yeah. Maybe a couple times like that. Then eventually bring the left hand down behind you and just rest it at your low back. Well, with that hand in place, see if you're able to create circles with the shoulder. Maybe a couple times, probably backward, rolling it backward 2 or 3 times. And then holding it back. I like to think of the heart, that the shoulder is behind the heart. So you're really opening up through the heart space with the left hand behind you like this. And then we'll inhale, re-extend the left hand up into the air, ready to move. We'll exhale to turn, fold, bend, bring hands to the floor, step back, plank pose. Let's hold here. Another shortcut to down dog, just bend the knees, send your hips into the sky. Again, the hands are rooted firmly into the ground, yes. Other side, inhale, extend left leg up, energetically reaching back behind you. And exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Landing to your left hand, right heel will turn to the ground. That solid connection. Good foundation, rising up, warrior one. And our exhale here to warrior two. Same thing, just establish a good foundation for yourself. Good opening through the hips. Tall, long, and light torso, energized arms. Side angle, reaching forward, angled upper body, rotate the arms. Reaching high, reaching low. And as before, we're just start with the right hand reaching straight up perhaps, and that slow wave, like you're reaching over your head towards the front of the room, and then waving to reach to the back of the room. Just notice kind of that lateral movement of the arm and shoulder. Eventually bring the right hand down behind you and just rest it on the low back. And if you can't reach your low back, you can just place your right hand on your right hip. That's fine too. Some of you might be able to, reach all the way around your body and even touch the left hip or left thigh. That works. But also keep checking in to see if you have that mobility in the shoulder, so you can circle the shoulder a couple times backward and then holding it back. Let's get the heart opening. The shoulder kind of resting behind the heart space. There you go, yeah. Just rising up if you need to a little bit. Let's inhale, re-extend right hand up into the air. And we'll turn, fold, and bend, hands to the ground. Let's step back, plank pose. Just realign the body for a second in plank. Same shortcut to down dog, or if you'd like, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog or a cobra pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, a nice full breath in. When you exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of the mat until you're in a forward fold. Nice release there. Weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Let's come all the way up, reaching into the sky. We're going to keep this moving though. When you bring the arms down, bring them down in slow motion, down by your side. Eventually reaching behind you like this. Again, getting the shoulders behind the heart. Active hands reaching, maybe reaching for the back corners of your mat. Even feel like you're holding on to something between the hands. You can stay just like that, or if you're able, interlace your fingers here and reach towards the floor with the knuckles. Once again, maybe rolling shoulders back, and as you're able, squeezing shoulder blades together. Again, that active muscle engagement up top in the upper back. And then take a chair pose. Just bend your knees and a little tip like this. So a little chair pose with the folded fingers behind you or reaching hands behind you. Some deep breaths, since the heart is really opened here. See if you can take a nice expansive breath where you can actually feel this all the way across the chest from shoulder to shoulder. Alrighty, we're going to stand up, release the fingers, we're going to flow. So inhale, reach both arms up into the sky, and exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose, good extension there. Exhale, fold and bend, hands to the mat. Let's step back or hop back, plank pose. Hold here. Okay, you're going to bring the right knee to the floor, underneath the right hip. Make a kickstand by swinging the right foot off to the right side. Let's open up sideways by taking left hand up into the air. So a side plank pose variation, just using the knee on the ground for a little support. Let's do that same wave like we did earlier. So left hand reaching overhead, up towards ceiling, and then to the back of the room. And then behind you. Okay, resting on low back, like you did in side angle. Roll the left shoulder back a couple times. Hold it back. Nice opening up through the chest, even your hips. Still flowing. Let's re-extend left hand up into the air. Turn. Let's bring left hand to the floor. Left knee to the floor. Bring the kickstand back in. Okay. You're going to sit back briefly in child's pose. You might need to take the knees a little wider. At least I do. And keep this active. So as you send the hips back, really reach out with the hands. So you feel this in the arms and shoulders, upper back and chest. Okay, then start to rise. As you're rising, tuck toes, lift knees and hips, and return to downward facing dog. Good. From down dog, a very slow shift, return to plank. Slowly returning to plank from down dog. And we'll set the left knee down, swing the left foot off to the left side, then opening up towards the right side of the room for our side plank pose. Reaching into the air initially, over your head, so that slow wave. Reach, feel that stretch through the right side of the body perhaps. Reach back up towards ceiling and then towards the back of the room. And then eventually right hand resting behind you on your low back. Rolling that right shoulder back a couple times, couple circles. Opening up through chest and hips. We'll inhale to re-extend, right hand up into the air. And our turn, bringing the right hand back down to the floor. Right knee, bring the kickstand back in. Back to child's pose. If you need to take the knees wide, that's fine. Make this active. This is an active movement. Sitting back, and then reach the hands forward. Extend. Feel that nice stretch quality. Okay, we're coming back up. Tuck toes, lift knees and hips, return to downward facing dog. Nice long spine. We're going to do another back bend. So you're going to kneel down, take a seat, or even hop forward, cross legs, and take a seat. Sitting in the center of your mat, go ahead and roll down onto your back. You might quickly draw knees into chest, but then immediately set the feet onto the floor. Going right into bridge. Once again, just bridge pose. Breathe in, fill up lungs. Exhale, core connect. By exhaling, navel to spine, then float the hips up into the air. As you did before, if you were able to do it before, let's get the arms and shoulders a bit underneath you. Maybe this time, can you interlace your fingers underneath you like we did in that standing position? If not, that's okay. You don't have to interlace fingers. But see if you can get the shoulders underneath you, maybe some engagement of the upper back. Breathe deeply. Checking in to see if you can float the hips up a little higher or even open the chest a little bit more. You don't have to force that, just a little, you just ask the question. That's how you can be kind of inquisitive about some of your poses. Just ask yourself, I wonder if I can do that. Or let's release the fingers, wiggle the toes forward, extend the arms straight up into the air, making space so we can roll our way back down. Making a soft landing. Again, hugging knees into chest. And exhale to rock your way up into boat pose. Take your time. Okay, just more core work here. Holding on to the legs or freeing up the hands if you want. Knees can stay bent. You can even start to extend the legs, straighten the legs if you want. Okay, we're going to flow, breathing in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back into plank pose. Okay, follow me here. I'm going to add something. First, just bring the knees to the floor. Okay, we're just going to do chaturanga, but we're just going to bring knees to the floor first. But slowly, bending elbows, slowly as you can, bring the upper body all the way down to the ground. All righty. Extend your left arm forward. Can you guys see me? So left arm forward, maybe just propped up on your fingertips, okay, with the left hand. And you're going to bend your right knee. Bring your heel towards backside. Okay, you can stay just like that, or if you're able, take right hand, reach back, and maybe you can catch the foot or ankle. Okay, still kind of lying flat as you're able here. Now the right shoulder, okay, that right arm, you're reaching back, holding onto the foot. See if you can roll that right shoulder back, away from the ground. That's as high as you really need to go. You don't have to go any higher than this in this back bend, because you are in a back bend. But you can certainly lift up a little higher. It doesn't have to be much. Maybe just lifting kind of that upper region of the chest, or just lift the chin up a little bit. That left leg that's on the floor behind you, you can keep it on the floor, even just lift the foot, point the toes. So very active. Okay, we're going to release everything, release the foot. Let's bring both hands underneath the shoulders, underneath shoulders. Roll both shoulders back, squeezing shoulder blades together, and do like a locust pose or just a low cobra, barely lifting, engaging upper back, rolling shoulders back. And return to that active child's pose. So push to hands and knees. Take knees wide here if you need to, and then sit back for that stretch quality. Okay? And then we're going to lift the hips, make your return to downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing other side, but first come to down dog. And then that slow transition to plank. This is all shoulder movement as well. Okay? As we make these transitions. So you're in plank. Let's send the knees to the ground, soft landing. Then a very slow chaturanga. Okay? We brought the knees down first and then lower the upper body down very slowly. Then we'll extend the right arm forward. Prop yourself up onto the fingertips. I just call them spider's legs. Just nice extension. You might even feel that in the right shoulder. Bend your left knee. Heel comes in towards backside. Reach back with the left hand if you can reach. You can just reach for the air, or if you can, grab hold of the top of the foot near the ankle. Roll that left shoulder back. A little engagement there. Okay, you are already in a back bend, but you can lift up a tiny bit more if that feels okay. A breath. Then we're going to slowly release the leg, bring both hands underneath your shoulders, stay low, but roll shoulders back, squeezing shoulder blades together, kind of a mini cobra or locust pose for another back bend, but shoulder opening. Then press to lift to knees, back to our active child's pose, sitting back, arms extended, feel that in the shoulders. Okay, then our return to down dog. Joining me here, downward facing dog. Let's return to a lunge sequence. So an inhale, extend right leg up behind you, straight and strong. Right foot to the top of the mat. Let's go to a high lunge this time. So left heel will remain lifted. All 10 toes pointing forward, nicely extended spine. We'll hinge from hips, rising up, reaching into the air. Holding that for a moment. Let me face you. Yes, good. We're going to rise up to straighten the legs. Pivot left heel to the floor behind you, turning sideways, bringing arms down to parallel. Legs are straight. Let's just take this into triangle. So let's reach out over that left leg. I'm sorry, right leg. It's my left. Your right. And move into triangle pose. Good. Good. Just for a different sensation. There you go. Okay, as you're able, let's keep the legs straight, but some core energy to help us rise back up. Just upper body coming back up so you're nice and tall. Legs are still straight, but you're going to spin the right foot so all 10 toes are facing the left side of the room there. Adjust the feet if you need to for good balance. I call this a star shape here. Inhale and reach out with both arms. Feel even taller. Exhale, draw belly in, bend the knees a little, and fold. Just folding, bringing hands and fingers down to the ground. Once you're down, maybe another inhale to help re-extend spine. You might prop up onto fingertips. and then fold again. Okay, just a wide-legged forward fold. Just settle in, make any adjustments. You can certainly take the feet wider if you want to get a little bit more into the legs. If they feel like they're too far apart, bring them in a little closer. Even add some movement. You might even kind of walk over to your right foot for a little stretch, over to the left side, add a twist, whatever might feel good. Again, maybe something just more natural, organic. Few more breaths here, finishing up those organic movements, those intuitive motions in the body. And eventually just coming back to center. You're still in forward fold. But you're going to walk your hands over towards your right foot, spin that right foot so the toes are pointing forward. You'll kind of be set up, and bend the right knee a whole lot. You'll kind of be set up for a warrior one. Okay, so go ahead and rise into warrior one. So an inhale, rising up, reaching into the air. Good. Exhale, hinge and fold. Bring the hands to the floor in front. Let's step all the way back into down dog. Both feet on the floor. Just step back, both feet on the ground, hips into the sky. We'll do the other side. So an inhale, extend left leg into the air, reach long. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat for your high lunge setup. Once you've landed, right heel is lifted, all 10 toes are forward, soft hands so you can easily hinge from hips, rising up. There you go, reaching into the air, perfect. Holding for strength and balance and steadiness here. Kind of shoot straight up to straighten the legs a bit, pivot right heel to the floor, turning sideways, arms come down to parallel, legs are straight, and we'll go ahead and take that to triangle. Reaching out over the left leg now. Rotating the arms. Good. A couple more breaths in our triangle. Certainly gets into the hips, it gets into our hamstrings. Then engage core so we can tip back up. Coming back to our star shape right there. We'll spin the left foot so it's facing the same direction as the right foot. There's our star shape. We'll inhale, reach out with the arms, get nice and tall through the spine. Exhale, draw belly in, bend the knees, and once again fold. All the way down we go. Nice release, complete release. Inhale, rise up to fingertips, extending through spine. And a fold. Just as you did before, just continue with these intuitive movements, maybe a wider stance, more flow, more rhythm, okay. Nice fluidity through the body. Because of course you are breathing and very intentionally breathing as you're exploring some of these postures and movements. Three more breaths. Eventually making your way back to center in our forward fold. And we'll walk the hands over towards the left foot, spin the toes so they're pointing forward, bend the knee. Might need to adjust that back foot a little bit. So we're prepped for warrior one. So we'll inhale and rise into warrior one. Reaching nice and high. Exhale, hinge and fold, hands to the floor in front. Step back into downward facing dog. Hips high, both feet on the ground. Here you're going to bring the knees to the floor, both knees. And once the knees are on the floor, you're going to bring your elbows to the floor, like so. Okay? Now your arms can be parallel like this, or you can even bring the hands in a little closer so they're touching each other, perhaps more of a triangle shape with the arms. Okay, we're going to do what I call Dolphin Plank. So once your arms are on the floor here, okay, extend the legs back, just propped up on toes. So here, just like plank pose, but we're on our elbows instead, our forearms. So holding here and rooting down firmly and strongly into the mat with the hands and forearms, and even feel like you're trying to broaden your upper back, like you're almost lifting your upper back. This is good core work, so it's certainly working the front belly area, but some upper back work. Okay, let's rest. Bring the knees to the floor. Take another child's pose. Knees wide, sit back, arms extend. We're going to do that again in a moment, but just first get that little stretch with the arms out front. Then we'll soften that by bringing the arms down by your side, like you're reaching for your feet or ankles, and relax your arms and shoulders completely for a couple breaths. Embryo pose. Couple more breaths here. You can move in slow motion, maybe bringing the hands back out in front. You can come back up to hands and knees. Let's go to our Dolphin Plank again. So your arms and elbows, they'll come down. Get the right angle, good placement there. Lift the knees, extend the legs, propped up on tucked toes. Broaden upper back. Even lift the hips a little bit. It's okay if your hips are a little higher. Okay, from here we're going to right side plank. You're staying on the right arm. You might even swing it in more at an angle and opening up sideways. So left hand reaching into the air. We're doing that same wave. Left hand reaching overhead. And then up towards ceiling, to the back of the room, then to low back. If you can, roll that left shoulder back once or twice. Inhale, re-extend left hand up into the air. Bring the left elbow and arm, forearm down to the floor. See if you can just kind of swivel right over to the other side. Yes. Taking right hand up into the air. Then overhead, reaching to the front of the room, towards ceiling, to the back of the room. Hand to low back. Roll the shoulder. A lot of work here. Float that right hand back up into the air. Plank pose, both elbows on the floor. Set the knees down. Take them wide. Sit back, child's pose. Make it active at first. And then soften into embryo. Arms reaching behind you. Relax. It's a lot of work. Deeper breaths. Nice. Take 3 more breaths in that little resting posture. Good work. And then make your way up to hero pose. And once in hero, just some more shoulder rolls here. Circle the arms and shoulders backward a few times, then perhaps forward. Good. All right, then back out to hands and knees. Tuck toes. Lift knees and hips, downward facing dog. Once fully in down dog, breathe in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat to your forward fold. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold again. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Come to standing, reaching into the air. Exhale, arms down by your side, just so there's a bit of a resting moment here. Just return to breath. Disengage the body and just kind of go loose. Kind of think about how we started our practice together, where you just kind of did that assessment and checked in with everything. You know, we've created some nice openings, maybe not as stiff as we were when we first started the practice. So you just acknowledge all of that. Body's a little warmer. Alrighty. And then step into mountain pose. So there is an activation of the body, an intentional movement into our first pose. And let's flow. We'll inhale, extend the arms into the air. The exhale, you're going to bring your arms down, just your arms. Okay, and bring them down and behind you. Reach actively or interlace fingers if you're able. Roll shoulders back, squeezing shoulder blades together. Maybe a gentle lift of the chin, not too high. Okay, just to kind of open up that upper region of the chest. Inhale like that. Exhale, take chair pose. Fingers still folded behind us. Just a gentle chair pose. Doesn't have to be too deep of a seat. Okay, start to rise up. Release the fingers. Extend the arms into the air. We're in a flow. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose, extending. Exhale, fold and bend, hands to the floor, hop or step back, plank pose. Right there. Bring the knees to the floor, knees, okay? And then that chaturanga where we bend the elbows and bring chest down to the floor. Extend left arm forward, spider's leg, fingertips there. Bend right knee. Reach back with right hand. Catch the foot as you're able. Stay like this or a mild back bend. If you're able, roll that right shoulder back. It's a little back bend, a little shoulder work. Okay? This half bow pose. We're going to release, leg to the floor, hands underneath shoulders, roll shoulders back, squeeze shoulder blades together. Another little locust pose, little back bend action right there. Push back for an active child's pose. Hips back, hands forward, reach. And then downward facing dog. Hips lift, tuck toes, lift knees and hips. Downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up. Right foot to the top of the mat. Let's go to a warrior one. Left heel turns to the floor. Root back, heel down behind you. Extended spine. Inhale, rising. Exhale, opening warrior two. Side angle pose. Reach out. Follow the left hand overhead towards the front of the room. We're doing that same wave. Ceiling. Back of the room, left hand down behind you, circle once, opening up through chest. Inhale, re-extend, left hand up, turn, hands to the floor, going back to down dog. So sweep the right leg back and up into the air. So you're in down dog, right leg re-extended, right foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Left heel stays lifted, all 10 toes are pointing forward, extended spine, we're rising. Inhale, reach. Once we're tall, we're shooting straight up, straightening the legs. Pivot left heel to the floor, turn sideways, arms come down to parallel. Okay, we're not doing triangle, so let's just spin the right foot so all 10 toes are facing the left side of the room. Okay, something kind of new here. We're going to reach out, inhale with the arms. Exhale, bring the hands down behind you, interlace fingers as you're able. Okay, roll shoulders back. Inhale, puff up the chest, tip the chin up. Exhale, pull belly in, bend knees, and fold. Just a few breaths down here. Nice. Good. Stay folded, but bring the hands and arms down behind you. Release the fingers, let the hands just drop in front of you here on the floor. Walk the hands over towards right foot. So you mean a lunge, kind of prep for warrior one. But instead, Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Left hand stays on the floor. Right arm swings out to the right side. You're going to open. Just for a little twist. Okay. Inhale here. Exhale, bring that right hand back down to the floor. Plant it firmly, because what you'll do is slide the right foot back and then open up into side plank on the right hand. Left hand reaching straight up. And then overhead. Okay, that same wave. Towards ceiling, to the back of the room, hand to low back, roll left shoulder back. Once, that circle, left hand back up into the air. Now, as we bring this left hand down, we're actually going to bring the left forearm down to the floor. Left forearm down to the floor, opening up sideways. Right hand swings up into the air. Same wave. Right hand reaching. Wave. It's just a very long parade, and you just have to wave. And all the people, hand behind you, roll that shoulder back, re-extend, forearm plank, or Dolphin Plank. Right there, hold. Set the knees down. Sit back, child's pose, active stretch, rest, embryo. Notice the breathing. Make them deep. Breathe into that upper back. Let the shoulders relax. This is our moment for that relaxation and rest before we get to the other side. Two more breaths. Then we'll bring the hands back out in front. Take downward facing dog. Slowly shift out to plank pose. Set the knees onto the floor. Chaturanga, send the chest down to the ground. We're extending right arm forward, propped up on fingertips, spider's legs. Bend the left knee, hug heel in. Reach back with left hand, catch the ankle or foot if you're able. Roll that left shoulder back. Okay, little back bend feel. This is half bow pose. Okay, releasing the foot. Hands underneath shoulders, keep them there. Roll shoulders back, locust. A little opening of the chest, or like a low cobra. Active child's pose. Sit back, extended arms. Okay, then lifting, downward facing dog. Tuck toes, lift knees and hips. Down dog. Here comes our lunge flow here. Inhale, extend left leg into the sky. Left foot to the top of the mat. Basic flow. So right heel turns to the floor. Warrior one. Rising high. Exhale, opening warrior two. Side angle pose. Here comes that wave. Right hand reaching overhead. Towards ceiling. Back of the room. Low back. Right shoulder roll. Once. Wave again to the sky, reaching high. Rotate and turn, hands to the floor, back to down dog. Just sweep the left foot back and up into the air. High lunge, so left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Right heel stays lifted. Flow up into the lunge. Once you're here nice and tall, shoot straight up, straightening the legs. Pivot right heel to the floor, turn sideways, arms to parallel. Spin the left toes forward. Okay, reach out, inhale with the arms. Exhale, bring hands down behind you, interlace fingers. Roll shoulders back, tip chin up, open the heart, inhale. Exhale, pull belly in, bend the knees, and fold.
Stay here for a few breaths. Even releasing the head and neck. Lower the hands, release the fingers, bring the hands to the ground. Walk your hands over towards left foot. Okay, prep for warrior one, but of course we're going to rise up on tiptoes behind us. Keep right hand planted into the ground. So we can take this into a twist, rotating left hand into the air. Just hold that rotation. Breathe in. Exhale, let's bring the left hand to the floor. They're going to left side plank. So the left foot will sweep back, open up to the right side, right hand reaching into the sky, and take that wave. Hand overhead to the ceiling. Back of the room. Low back. One circle. Re-extend towards the sky. And we're bringing the right forearm, elbow to the floor. Gently landing, opening up now to left side of the room. Left hand reaching into the air. Wave, reach, up high, back of the room, low back, shoulder circle, re-extend left hand up. Left elbow comes to the floor, our Dolphin Plank. Hold, a couple breaths for strength, root into the earth, broad back. One more breath, knees rest, come down to the floor. Quick active child's pose. Rest in embryo. Let everything melt and soften here. Good. Take as much time as you need right there. See if you can return to a good steadiness of breath. Okay, no rush from this position. Eventually, just rising up for a brief hero. Okay, take your time. If you're still in that embryo, you can stay there, but you'll eventually rise up to a hero, but you'll sit off to the side, sit down, legs to the front here. Roll onto your back, hug knees in, and again going back to intuitive organic movements that would feel good. Even another pose or two. And some of those extra add-on postures here might be an inverted pose where the legs extend into the air, hip openers like happy baby pose, another back bend, and even twists. Continue to move as you need and want to move. Still asking the questions of what does your body need? How would this feel? And whenever you feel complete, just make your way down onto your back, perhaps lying flat and comfortably in Shavasana or any other restorative position. Once you've made it to your resting pose, just one last check-in with breath in your whole body. And then completely rest, release, and relax.
returning to the awareness of your breath. With this awareness, take 5 slow, steady breaths. Feeling movement gently return to your body. And slowly and carefully roll onto either side of your body, just arriving in a nurturing pose. And from here, still moving in slow motion, let's rise to a seated posture. And just one more movement together. Let's inhale, extend the arms out and up, reaching into the sky. As you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Take one more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste.